3, 2, 1, jumping. What?
I'm on bloody mute. What a shock. I always start the stream on bloody mute, don't I? All the time. Bless up to everyone, man. Hope everyone is doing fantastically well. And yeah, we're back with another stream. Today's stream, we're talking transfers. Now, the reason why I wanted to do a transfer stream is because there's a lot of stories going around at the minute with Alexis McAllister, Semenyo, Gahey, Wharton. I want to chat about it all because I think it's important because, you know, the January transfer window is literally about 2 months away. It's getting crunch time with Kanate, what's happening with his contract. We'll be speaking about all of that in today's live stream. So smash the like buttons. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel. And yeah, it's going to be a good stream. Let me bless up to the chat. Big up to you, mate. Big up. Yeah, slap these likes up. Hope you're well, React. Hope you're well, my guy, as well. If we don't get a centre back in January, disgraceful, says LFC for life. I'm probably in the same agreement with you, mate. One injury and it's gone. Yep. Yeah, big up, mate. Who's your dream January transfer reacts? Well, I'm going to answer that question very soon. Bless up to everyone that's already in the chat. So I did want to react to this a couple of days ago. Now, this story came out about 4 or 5 days ago from IndyCar News, and some other people have been tweeting about it this morning. Regards with Alexis McAllister, with regards to a lot of Liverpool players. And we're also going to get into what Fabrizio Romano has had to say, because he's given an update on Upamecano. He's obviously given an update on Mark Gahey, an update on Kanate. And yeah, so we've got some updates from Fabrizio Romano. We've got some updates from Lewis Steele. A lot of updates for you in today's show. So yeah, bless up to everyone. This is what IndyCar News had to say. Real Madrid to bid for Alexis McAllister in January. Liverpool want to sign 2 elite midfielders. Mark Gahey is set on LFC move. Liverpool believe Adam Wharton wants to join them, and Antonio Semenyo bid will be submitted by LFC, according in January. All above is expected to happen in the next 2 windows. Obviously, the next 2 windows is January and the summer transfer window. I think this is actually quite interesting, and I do think it's actually could happen. And the reason as to why I think this could very much happen is due to a couple of things. I think Alexis McAllister is an interesting one as to what's going to happen with him. You know, is he going to move on? Because if we have a look at the LFC wage bill, now this will tell us how long players have also got left on their contracts. So let's go and have a look. Let's find Maka. So Maka has until 2028 on his deal. So he's still got a lot of time, 2.5 years. But the reason as to why this is interesting is because Dominic Szoboszlai has been heard of a new deal. Ryan Gravenberch has been talked of a new deal. So it looks like Liverpool are getting ahead of the game when it comes to the transfers of Liverpool, when it's coming to the contracts ahead of time. And I told people this, the contract situation will get better at Liverpool. It will get better because Liverpool aren't going to allow players to just keep running down their 1-year deals. Hence why you're seeing this morning Gravenberch contract situations, Dominic Szoboszlai contract talk situations, but nothing of Alexis McAllister. And I think that's interesting because a lot of people are thinking Maka could go. McAllister could leave Liverpool. Do I think he's actually going to leave? I genuinely don't know. I think McAllister's an odd shot player that could actually end up leaving. Now, not just due to his performances, because McAllister in the past couple of games, his performances have actually gotten better. And we know McAllister is one of the best midfielders in world football. But the thing is, to yourself, you have to ask your question is, would you sell Alexis McAllister for, let's say, 80 to 100 million, but sign an Adam Wharton and an extra player on top of that? If, selling Alexis McAllister helps us buy Wharton, helps us buy an extra 2-3 players as well, would you sell him? Now, don't base a McAllister off his form right now, because I actually think he's coming into a bit of a good form right now based off his last couple of games. So I'm really intrigued to see what the chat think in terms of, would they sell McAllister? If a good offer came in for him, would you sell him, etc.? Big up. Maka is going, as a Fab mentioned, a Gravenberch and Szoboszlai deal, but nothing about Maka. Exactly. And this is what I mean, your Reds, like 89. There is a lot of talk about Alexis McAllister. Could he potentially leave, Liverpool Football Club? And again, to be honest, his wages aren't a problem because he's on 150. So, you're looking at players that's probably going to be leaving over the next 2 windows. Reece Williams will be gone. Calvin Ramsey, I'm intrigued because I think he's shown in that cup game he's got a bit of a future at Liverpool Football Club. I think Curtis Jones will stay. The fact that Curtis Jones is on 15 grand a week, say what you like about Curtis Jones, but Ngamo is on more than him. Batatic is on more than him. Mamadashvili as a backup goalkeeper is on more than Curtis Jones. Chiesa is on more than him, So I think if I was to predict players to leave from the next 2 windows, because I think it'd be good to have a transfer chat, I think Reece Williams is gone. I think Calvin Ramsey will probably stay. Curtis Jones will stay. Woodman, I think it's just a stopgap as a third choice goalkeeper. I think Trey's obviously a part of the future. We need to get his contract tied up. Ngamo obviously signed a professional contract now with the club. Bajcetic, I think, is an interesting one. I think Endo will probably just see out his final 2 years at Liverpool, just as a squad addition type player, unless an offer came in the summer or something like that. Leone's obviously a part of the future. Kanate, we'd have to wait and see what happens with him. Bradley, I think, stays. Kirk is also just come in. Gomez, I think Gomez will see out his contract again unless an offer comes in. Mamadashvili, obviously, just come in. Same with Frimpong, and obviously Dominic Szoboszlai's talks of contracts. I think Alisson will probably leave on a free. I think Brian Gravenberch will obviously sign a new contract. Chiesa, that's an interesting one. Robertson, would you guys give Andy Robertson a new contract? I personally would, and I said that in the summer. Florian Wirtz has obviously just come in. Same with Ekitike. Gakpo obviously just signed. Gakpo's got until 2026 left on his deal. No, that's false. Because according to it says he started. Yeah, I think he signed that new long-term deal, didn't he? In the summer, I don't know why. It's just not updated here. Alexander Isak's on, by the way, 280 a week. So you can actually see all the wages here. Me personally, I would keep those guys at the club. But would you guys sell McAllister if it means we got an Adam Wharton? People talking about they want a DM, etc. Would you sell Alexis McAllister then? Because I personally think, the summer we just had, the summer we just had in terms of the spending. I think we're not going to see spending like that for a while, and I think you will. I think Liverpool will always would want to spend. This always just depends on the finances. We just signed that new long-term Adidas deal. Obviously, that's going to massively help as well. But I'm really intrigued. What do we do with Alexis McAllister? Because we're going to talk about Dominic Szoboszlai later in the show and some other players as well. But I want to start off with this tweet. Because Liverpool do want to sign a couple of elite midfielders. Would you sell McAllister? Would you well and truly sell Alexis McAllister if it means we got those players, through the door? Big up to yourself, mate. McAllister stays. Yep. I don't think the way we play gets the best out of Maka, and I think he knows it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to leave to excel. I think it's really interesting, chat. I really do think it's interesting in terms of what's going to happen with McAllister, because do we sell him? And how much is McAllister worth, by the way? I think I will not sell McAllister for no less than 90 million. He's got 2.5 years left on his contract. He's one of the best midfielders in the world, one of the best midfielders in the league. I think, personally, McAllister's a top 5 midfielder in the Premier League, and I think he's a top 5 midfielder in world football. Yes, on current form, is he? Probably not right now. However, as an overall player last season, he was top 5 midfielders in world football. I think you can struggle to name 5 midfielders where it was like, yes, they're definitely better than Alexis McAllister. I would give you names of Pedri, Vitinha. I won't put Rice in that conversation. I'm struggling to name players that's probably been better than him, to be honest with you. Smash these likes up, by the way, chat. Smash the likes up and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Yes, Robert has to stay. Some of these are wrong, I think, because I swear Trace signed a new deal recently. Yeah, I think he did, didn't he? Yeah. Curtis says no to selling McAllister 100 mil for Maka. Big up React. Agreed. Maka is a 100 mil player. I agree. But the counterpoint is, though, would you sell Alexis McAllister for 100 million, but you get Adam Wharton and another player on top? Because I think Adam Wharton will actually be available for cheap. I think you can get Adam Wharton for quite cheap, in my opinion. That's what I personally believe and think. McAllister will go for quite cheap. Adam Wharton will go for quite cheap. I think I did see something, and I read a little piece of an article that Maka could go. So Adam Wharton could leave Palace for something of the region of 60 million. Let me see if I can actually find the tweet. But let me know, man, because obviously we've got a lot of chat about, and I thought it would be good to have a kind of a transfer type show. I do think it would be good to have this type of show. Let me see if I can find this tweet about Adam Wharton, because it's definitely interesting. Adam Wharton. Adam Wharton. Now, obviously I know there's a lot of clubs who are interested in him. There is a lot. I know Manchester United are. And obviously, this is what another source came out and said some of the clubs are interested in him. Liverpool are keen to avoid a bidding war with Real Madrid for Crystal Palace midfielder Adam Wharton and are prepared to meet the Eagles' valuation in order to secure a quick agreement. The Englishman has been linked with a number of top clubs since joining from Blackburn, Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester City, Arsenal, Real Madrid, and Manchester United. I personally believe we are the front runners to get him, because it's clearly been seen that we want a number 6, we want another midfielder, and obviously many reports speaking on that. Fabrizio Romano mentioned it himself. And I'm looking at these selected of clubs who are interested. Liverpool, obviously need a DM. I personally don't think Chelsea go and get him because they've got Enzo, they've got Lavia, they've got Caicedo, they've got a lot of advocate depth in that position. Manchester City, I think, is a real interesting one because of what's happening with Rodri. I still think they need another one or two midfielders. So I think you can also add Manchester City into the equation of being interested. I think Arsenal obviously are going to, I doubt Arsenal because, again, you look at the players they've got. They're stacked in the midfield department. They've got Declan Rice, Norgard, they've got Zubimendi, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, Eze. They've got a lot of midfielders. Ethan Nwaneri, for another player. They've got a lot of midfielders, Arsenal. Max Dowman, that can also do a job in the midfield as well. So I personally think Arsenal won't be really and truly in the equation unless they sell someone. Real Madrid is Real Madrid. They're always going to be interested because I think, look, it depends on what happens with Semenyo or something like that. And obviously Manchester United. I think if Liverpool do well this season in the sense of getting Champions League football, we get Adam Wharton. I do. I do think we get Adam Wharton, in my opinion. But let me catch up with the chat. I agree. Amaka is a 100 mil player. I agree. McAllister can be a backup for Wirtz. Yep. Have you seen Vinny Jr.? Yeah, where is he, man? Tell me where he is. Big up Zia Talks. Hope you well, my guy. Bless up to you. What's good? Hope everything was well with you, mate. Heavyweight show's tonight, isn't it? Just make sure, yeah. Heavyweight show is tonight, 10 o'clock. I need to message you about it as well. I will be on the show, don't worry, though. But I do think it's interesting because there's a lot of reports about Adam Wharton, with Liverpool. And for me, he's my dream player. The reason as to why I think we get him is because Manchester United have got their heart set on Carlos Baleba. They want Elliot Anderson. Are they going to be going to get Adam Wharton alongside with a couple of more players as well? I know Real Madrid, Fabrizio Romano has just confirmed that, I've just seen that they are interested in him. I just think he's an absolute baller. Who gives us a toss if he's got some skinhead flipping, and there's a lot of, talk around this now. I was just seeing, I know Manchester United are obviously interested in him, but and obviously Lewis Steele did confirm this, that, Adam Wharton is a player Liverpool like. I think it's going to be a really, really interesting battle for these sort of players. Conor Bradley had a good game. He did. I will start Conor Bradley this weekend. By the way, chat, can we get these likes up? We're on 12 likes, 20 of you in the building. We can get these likes up to 20. More likes pushes out to the next person as well. So make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so. So, I mean, look, I think it's going to be very interesting. It's very, very, very interesting to see what is going to happen with these players. Is Adam Wharton a player you like? Is Adam Wharton a player you want? Do you guys want another type of midfielder? That's another thing. Do you guys want Adam Wharton? I think it's very interesting to see what the fan base wants because I do think it's going to be interesting to see what the fan base wants. So yeah, bear with. Let me just reply back to this text. Having Wharton in the 6 and Gravenberch in the 8 to replace Maka would make a great shield for our defence, but still having line-breaking runs and passes from Grav, so Maka could move on. The reason why I just wanted to bring this up was just mainly due to the fact of, There is no talks for McAllister new deal. There is literally no talks right now for an Alexis McAllister new contract. So again, it's interesting because why is there talk of other players that's got 3 years, 2.5 years left in the deal, but nothing for Alexis McAllister? I just think it's really interesting because, again, there's a lot of talk about Alexis McAllister and Real Madrid. So, there is a lot of talk about McAllister and Real Madrid. The thing is, what I find interesting with Real Madrid is, are they going to pay what we want? That's the thing. We know Real Madrid can afford it, but we know that's not their transfer model. Their transfer model is simply getting players on a free. And Liverpool are not going to allow Alexis McAllister, £100 million player, run down his contract for another 2.5 years. They're not. They'll just cut a little bit of the valuation. They just won't allow it. Bless up to you, mate. Thank you. Other clubs should stop United buying other top players. We need to keep them near the bottom. I mean, they're doing well this season, to be fair. Indy tweets, apparently. Indy Carlos just tweeted. Let's have a look. What's he said? What does this even mean? Exclusive. It hijacked its hem luxurious contract offer. We understand on Tuesday that Man United tried to hijack Liverpool's transfer target Mark Gay. Word came on Tuesday afternoon that Manchester United is making a serious move for him. And by Tuesday evening, Liverpool got their heads up from the sources at Crystal Palace. Liverpool still feel very confident of signing the player, but the package Manchester United is very attractive compared to LFC. Mark Gay wants Champions League football, and United are aware of this. I think, and chat, this is exactly why I want Liverpool to buy. This is exactly why I want Liverpool to, get a Mark Gay in January. Because of the competition, because of everything that is currently at stake, I want us to go and get him in January. Go and get me him in January. Why? Because I think it's actually cheaper. You're probably paying maximum 15 million quid, maybe 1 or 2, 3 mil add-ons. So the price is already cut from the summer. Mark Gay, he's already fit and fresh, ready to be going into the squad. He has squad depth, and 2, he holds off all the attention of a Manchester United move or of the clubs being interested, because I do think this is going to be, this summer, it's all about the centre-backs. You saw it this summer with the strikers of Sesko, Jokeres, Isak, Hugo Ekitike, and many, many more other strikers. João Pedro's, your Liam Delaps, your Nick Voltemates. I mean, just listing a load off the top of my tongue here. I think it's going to be about the centre-backs, with Upanan and Kano, with his, not long left on his deal, with Ibrahim Konate, with the likes of Schlotterbeck being linked. So I think it's it's interesting, and I do think it's going to be the summer of centre backs. Let me catch up with the chat. Big up to you, my bro. He would. I like Anderson. I think Anderson goes to Man United, if I'm being honest. That's just what I think, in my opinion. I think he will go to Thingy, but we are going to listen to some Fabrizio Romano clips in a second. He's speaking on the future of Gehi Upa Kanate. So we're going to get some information from him in just a sec. I want Anderson. The thing is, chat, I like Anderson, but I just got a weird feeling he's going to go to United, so there's just no point really me having hope. I think Adam Wharton, in my opinion, is the player I want more, and I think we've got more of a chance of getting him, because I think United will get Anderson and Baleba, and therefore I think that's why Liverpool are looking at Adam Wharton. McAllister for Rodrigo. See, I like Rodrigo. Again, I'll be honest with you. I don't think we get Rodrigo. Indeed tweets right now. Madrid are organising the tapping up schedule. Yep, 100%. Footy reacts terrace. Don't know what you mean by that, mate. Wharton doesn't want the LFC move. He's not being sold until next summer. Did I not just say that? Did I not just check? Was I not just speaking about that? If I think we sign Adam Wharton, will be the summer. That's literally what we're talking about. Is Adam Wharton for next summer? Right now, we're talking about Mark Gahey's and stuff like that in January, which that's just an opinion. I want him in January because it's cheaper. We need to get a right wing in the summer. See, I don't know. I think this is how I see. This is just a prediction, yeah, before anyone clips it. Because I know Touchline Facts is in the chat, so I know he's going to be gagging and mouth-watering at this what I'm going to say on the clip. I think next summer, these are the players that Liverpool sign. I bet you any money I can predict January and summer transfer window. January, Liverpool will do a bit of searching. I think in January, we might try and get someone. I don't know who. I think January, we 100% get Mark Gee or someone in January if Van Dijk or Konate goes down injured. I've seen someone talk about Schlotterbeck getting him in January. Bro, I think Dortmund are going to want minimum 60, 70 million plus January tax as well. We already know January tax is a thing. So, you've also got to add it on to that. So I think you've got to take those two into the equation. But I think that's what it'll be. I think in the summer, now you get ready for my summer transfer predictions. Liverpool sign a centre-back, a midfielder, another midfielder, and a winger. Now, I know which winger I want, but I don't think he will leave Bayern Munich, unfortunately. I've got a weird feeling about Semenyo, that Liverpool do get someone like a Semenyo, I don't want him, I really don't. I'm not a fan of him. Like, don't get me wrong, I think he's had a fantastic season so far. He's been one of the best wingers in the Premier League. But I don't just base things off GA or just pace and power, just dribbling and all that. I look at how actually stylistically they're going to fit into the team and what they're actually going to bring to the team and how much we're actually going to be spending on them. Semenyo is going to cost us minimum. I'm talking minimums. We got quoted in the summer when we tried to get him for about 70 million. They're going to want at least, I think Bournemouth will want 100 million. I think Bournemouth will want genuinely 100 million. You think about it. They sold Kirkus for 40, Huijsen for 50. You're telling me they're not going to want big dough for Semenyo after he's been one of the best wingers in the Premier League this season. Like, come on now. But no, let's have a look to Fabrizio Romano's YouTube channel, where he's given some updates on Konate. He's given some updates on Upa, some updates on Gahey. Let's take a listen.
Setup wants Opera GX, and you're holding it back.
New York, New York, New York. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here, as always, to keep you posted.
No offense, but we're just kind of interested in the Liverpool news. Right, we don't care about Wolves manager shit. Manchester United, Ruben Amorim, yeah, we don't care. Caicedo, right? So we've got Upa. Oh, he talks on Elise, yeah? Is that what we're saying? Well, we'll have a listen.
Topic defenders, Konate, Upamecano, Gahey. Keep an eye on the situation of Dayot Upamecano. Because for Upamecano, the director of Bayern, Max Eberl, today said we want to do everything possible to extend his contract. And he's being honest in saying that, because Bayern are talking with the agents of Upamecano. There is a negotiation, there is a conversation. Bayern will meet again with the agents. But for Upamecano, there are several clubs starting to call. From Premier League, from La Liga, but also from France. Paris Saint-Germain are following the situation of Upamecano. So he could be one of the options being monitored by PSG only in case he doesn't extend the contract at Bayern. So if Upamecano will be available on a free in the summer transfer window, PSG will be, together with Premier League and La Liga clubs, attentive to the situation. So keep an eye on Upamecano because Bayern are trying, but if he doesn't extend, there are several opportunities, including Paris Saint-Germain. We know PSG love to add French players, but remember the policy. The more you play, the more you earn. So PSG are not giving crazy salaries. It has to be about the structure. Depends on how much you play. And then Marc Guéhi, guys, because for Marc Guéhi, we have new rumors about Inter coming from Italy, but for Italian clubs it will be very difficult to go for Marc Guéhi, from what I'm told. There are English clubs very interested, Liverpool and not only. There are Spanish top clubs attentive to the situation. Guéhi will leave Crystal Palace, in this case is for sure, he's 100% guaranteed. But also Bayern, if Upamecano leaves Bayern on a free, Marc Guéhi is one of the players who are part of the list at Bayern in terms of player they want to try to add. But if Upamecano leaves, so if a defender leaves, could be Upamecano, could be also Kim Min-jae. Kim is also attracting some interest, so could be an interesting situation. In case an important defender leaves Bayern from now to the summer transfer window, Marc Guéhi could be one of the options monitored by the club. There has been already a contact with people close to the player, but Guéhi will not decide now. He has several possibilities, again, in England, in Spain, in Germany, so Guéhi will take his time to decide the best option, but for sure, Marc Guéhi will be one to watch, and this could be a domino between Guéhi and Upamecano. So let's follow the situation, let's keep following the situation, and we will understand more, but for sure, Guéhi and Upamecano, two interesting situations to follow ahead of 2026 on the market. And so guys, let me know your thoughts on all these stories from Ruben Amorim indications from a...
So what he said was about Upamecano, Bayern want to sign him to a new contract. Bayern Munich want to sign Upamecano to a new contract. We saw this the other day. And obviously we know Liverpool are interested, but I believe, in my opinion, our interest isn't actually as high. I think our interest is to basically... It is as fair as this. Although I just seen this 10 minutes ago. Upamecano wants to join Real Madrid, but the club no longer considers him a priority. Real Madrid have chosen Upamecano as their preferred option to add to their squad. They're also resigned to losing out on Marc Guéhi, as he would favour a move to Liverpool. Now, this dude, I don't personally rate him as a journalist. However, I know he's got a couple of things right. He has, but he's very hit and miss. And he said this about Upa yesterday. Let me do the transition. Real Madrid and Upamecano are close to a verbal agreement. Real Madrid are currently in a pole position to sign the French international. Bayern Munich are still trying to extend the contract. PSG closely following the situation. I think if he leaves Bayern Munich, he's going to Paris Saint-Germain. That's what I think. I've got a feeling he'll go to Paris Saint-Germain. In my opinion, that's just an opinion of mine. So I think that's definitely interesting to keep following up on and stay up to date with. And obviously, Fabrizio Romano also mentioned about Guéhi. He has not really decided his his talks yet, although I think there's still a bit left of the video.
United, what's your feeling on that? And then Moises Caicedo future, Marc Guéhi, Upamecano, managers as well. Who do you see as next manager of Wolves? Guys, let me know your opinion. Hit in comments.
No one cares about Wolves. And then one day ago, I think he gave an update on Canate.
£5 meal deal from McDonald's.
No one cares about McDonald's. Who cares? Vance transfer stories Canate. Let's have a look. Hurry up, man. Thank you.
The channel, Fabrizio Romano here, as always, to keep you posted on the transfer market. Today, guys, several things to say. We will go from Real Madrid to Premier League, and then Liverpool, Real Madrid, a match with many transfer stories inside. Let's jump into it together.
Smash up these likes, by the way, chat. Big up to yourself, bro.
And here we are, guys, as always, to keep you updated, as always, with news, because in the recent days, we know there have been changes in terms of managers, and one of the stories around in the recent days was about Wolves, with Vitor Pereira, the manager, fired a few days ago. So Wolves looking for a new coach. Gary O'Neill has been in conversations with Wolves board, but not reaching any agreement despite all the reports. And so Gary O'Neill at this point is not close to returning to Wolves despite reports. And so Wolves are still looking for a new manager. There might be, from what I understand, some board and management changes at Wolves. So not only the manager, but also some changes in the management.
No one
so
cares.
keep an eye out.
No one cares about. Surely there's a bit in the description. Right, here we go. Wolves, Ten Hag, Van Dijk, and Konate to Real Madrid. Let's take a listen.
Soon. And so, guys, let me hear your thoughts.
Wait, I have to skip past it. Whoops.
Soon. And so, guys, let me hear your thoughts.
The link don't work. What?
And then today, guys, Tuesday, big game at Anfield. Liverpool, Real Madrid, a story and a game with many transfer stories inside. Why? Because we can mention that during the recent years, Real Madrid and Liverpool have been around with several transfer stories.
Come on, man.
First of all, Trent Alexander-Arnold, back at Anfield. His mural outside Anfield was vandalized over the morning. Then workmen at Liverpool starting cleaning it off. But Trent Alexander-Arnold was obviously the big story. There are some stories in Spain about Virgil van Dijk, who wanted to go to Real Madrid on a free transfer last summer. Guys, I'm aware that Virgil van Dijk really wanted to stay at Liverpool. And Virgil van Dijk really wanted to be a crucial...
There was a lot of stories the other day saying, oh my God, Virgil van Dijk wanted to go to Real Madrid. What absolute nonsense.
...part of Liverpool project. So if Virgil van Dijk extended...
Why would he sign for Liverpool if he wanted to go to Real Madrid? Because I guarantee you this now, Real Madrid would have took Virgil van Dijk on a fucking free contract. Let's not be stupid here. Every single man and his dog, club, whatever, would have took Virgil van Dijk on a free transfer.
His contract at Liverpool is because he really trusted the project. He's always been super keen on staying at the club and signing a new deal. So my understanding is that, you know, guys, sometimes the stories can be told in different ways. In Spain, in England, it's normal. But it's also normal sometimes for agents when you have a client, a world-class player like Virgil van Dijk, to reach out to clubs and understand situations. It's part of their job, but the desire of the player has always been to stay at Liverpool and to continue at the club. So that must be clear, because for Virgil van Dijk, the focus has always been Liverpool Football Club. And then, guys, Ibrahima Konate. Don't forget about Ibu Konate, who is out of contract in summer 2026, who is in the list of Real Madrid. Ibrahima Konate remains a player in the list of Real Madrid. So if Konate will go on a free next summer, Real Madrid will be very attentive to the situation of Konate. For sure, he's one of the players they are monitoring. On the other side, Liverpool are still talking with his agents. So Liverpool, at this stage, have the opportunity to still talk to the player, but Konate has the opportunity to...
I personally think, quickly on Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk have also got in their contracts an extension for 1 year. I think genuinely what will happen, I think Salah will see out his 2 years at Liverpool. He will then do maybe 2 years in Saudi, and he'll sail off into the sunset. I think Virgil van Dijk's an interesting one because he's 34 now, so he'd be 36. I really don't know what will actually happen with Virgil. Will he retire at Liverpool or not?
Decide whether he wants to stay in Liverpool or try a new chapter. There is a lot of interest in Konate. Real Madrid and not only. So for sure, on a free would be a big opportunity. But this depends on the player. Konate has the opportunity to decide. The interest from Real Madrid is genuine, also because one of the targets they had at Real Madrid was William Saliba, another French excellent defender, but Saliba decided to stay at Arsenal and sign a new contract at the club. And so now for Ibu Konate, is an opportunity for the player to decide whether he wants to continue at Liverpool or go and try a new chapter. Real Madrid are there. Real Madrid are attentive. Real Madrid already had some conversation internally to consider opportunities because they want to strengthen the centre-back position for 2026. As I told you, David Alaba should leave the club, according to my information. Let's see what happens with Tony Rudiger, because the Rudiger situation is still open between extending the contract or leaving the club on a free next summer. And so, Ibu Konate want to watch with the player deciding his future soon. And so, guys, let me hear your thoughts on all these stories. Interesting
stories there from Fabrizio. So basically, he was stating about, obviously, the false information about, Virgil van Dijk wanting to go to Real Madrid. Obviously, he quickly dismissed that. And obviously, he spoke about, the Konate situation. The Konate situation, see, the thing is, I'm back and forth on it. I really, really am. I'm really back and forth on the situation with Konate. Now, we've still got a couple of things I do want to go into in today's stream. I'm really back and forth on Konate in terms of like how I see, the situation happening. I really am intrigued because I really don't know if he's going to stay or not. Because I said in the summer I think he stays. And the reason as to why I thought he would stay at Liverpool, there was a couple of reasons as to why I had him down to stay. Now, that's obviously probably changed. I think, personally, it's definitely interesting to see what's gonna happen with him. Let me catch up with the chat because I know I'm very far behind. Would you take Vinny Jr.? No. I know, man. Where is Baran? Can somebody please tell me where is Baran? Baran, we need to find out a search by. Upa signed the contract. Who would you want as a centre back if we don't get Gehi? Konate leaves and Upa stays at Bayern. Oh god, that's probably the worst case scenario. The fact that Konate goes to Madrid, Upa stays, and Gehi goes somewhere else. I'll be honest, I really don't know. That's one of those ones I'm gonna have to really think about it. I think realistic options, Liverpool will probably look at your Schlotterbecks. Me personally, I would throw the bag at whatever it takes to bring in someone like a Bastoni, even though I think that's very unlikely. But it's definitely interesting. Yeah, we definitely do need centre backs. Who knows where Baron is? Would you take Vinny Jr.? No. What are the Bombers? Not really any Bombers. We're just kind of going through a few transfer stories. I feel like it's good to have a good transfer kind of catch up. What's going to happen with Adam Wharton? What's going to happen with Semenyo? What's going to happen with Gay? Big up. I love the profile pic. Cold in it. That is actually a cold profile pic. Love that, lad. Come on. Where did I get to in the chat? Yeah, big up. Big up Terrell, mate. Hope you're well, my brother. Keep smashing on YouTube, my guys. Smash the likes. All good, mate. Upa Nakano is definitely a smokescreen. Yeah, we ain't getting Upa Nakano. I'll be very shocked. Great to hear. I see Virgil van Dijk ending his career at Liverpool. I don't see him leaving. I hope so, bro. Hope so, man. Van Dijk is not Trent. That's facts. The Rummager media talking their usual BS to disrupt VVD and the club before a big match. Yeah, of course. Konate should go to PSG. I'm surprised PSG aren't really interested, to be honest. VVD to Turkey. Konate will stay, I think. Hope so, because I think I think since the Man United game, Konate's actually turned his form around. Now, I don't know if you guys agree. I actually think that since the Man United game, I actually don't think Konate's been that bad. I actually think he's been quite good. Militao swap deal. How would a swap deal work when one of them's on a free? Wagwan, Mr. Footy reacts. Big up to Donna. Militao is crap. Footy, you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. And hope you're well myself. Could be, but for me, absolutely not. Where's the Madrid fan? Yeah, who knows where Baron is? Let's offer 85 mil for Schlotterbeck. 85 mil. 85 mil for Schlotterbeck. Not for me. I will say, not for me. If I'm being honest, not for me. Yeah, not for me. If I'm being honest, mate. Not for me. Yeah, not for me, man. I wouldn't take him for that price. What the hell? How's on again? But yeah, I would not take him for that price, if I'm being honest. 85 million quid. How long's he even got left on his contract? I think he's got 2 years left. I might be wrong. He has got Schlotterbeck. 2 years left, and you want me to pay 85 million quid? Absolutely not. His wages are cheap. God, Chan, man. He seems like he's been around the block. How old is he now? How old is Emrin Chan? Emrin Chan's still 31. How is his brother not like 38? He left Liverpool, what, like 6 years ago? To be fair, he did leave Liverpool quite young. He was like 25 when he left Liverpool. I liked Emrin Chan as a player. I actually thought he was quite good. Been around the block, hasn't he? Been to Juventus. You know, done his obviously long stint at Dortmund. Yeah, man. Yeah, he did. Yeah, because he went on to Juventus, went on loan to Dortmund. He obviously then, yeah, he's been at Dortmund for some years now, actually. Emrin Chan. Yeah, the bastard went for free. Didn't Chan go for free, chat? Am I wrong? Emrin Chan went for free. I think he went for free. He was only on 52,000 euros a week at Liverpool. No wonder he left for free. Yeah, he was only 23. Yeah, I remember he left Liverpool when he was quite young-ish. I've always rated Emrin Chan, to be honest. He was a bit of a fan favourite at Liverpool, I thought. But no, Chan, let me know, man. Do you guys think Ibu will stay at Liverpool? Because, in my opinion, I really don't know. The thing is, I've always said it, right? When I look at Liverpool's wage bill, yeah, Konate asking for decent wages, I feel for him, right? Because Konate's on what, 70,000 euros a week at Liverpool. 70,000, yeah? You have to think. Now, I know, take this all into consideration. Mamadashvili is a backup goalkeeper. He's on more than you. Gomez is on more than you. Yes, it's only 15,000, but Gomez is a fourth choice centre back and he's on 15,000 more than you. Chiesa barely gets a game for Liverpool, even though he should get games for Liverpool. He's on double Konate's wage. Robertson, backup choice, he's on double. And you're looking at all these players that have just coming in and they're just getting 200. I'm surprised we gave Ekatike, by the way, 200 grand a week. I think the reason why we had to give him 200 grand a week because obviously it was because of Newcastle, etc. I'm very surprised about that. If I'm being honest. Cody Gakpo's on 250. Fucking hell, we gave Cody Gakpo a big pay rise. Chat, Cody Gakpo's on £250,000 a week. I don't know why it's not been updated to there. I know he signed the new long-term deal. I think it's till 2029 or 2030. Cody Gakpo's on 250 a week. We gave him more than Wirtz and Ekatike. What? Wow. This is what I mean. You can't complain at Konate moaning for wanting a decent wage when you got players coming into the club and he's on way less than. You know what I mean? By the way, 19 likes. Let's try and push these likes up to 25 if that is possible. And make sure you are subscribing. Please do subscribe if you haven't already done so. Make sure you put bell notifications on as well to make sure you never miss a video, short, live stream, all of that stuff. So yeah, very, very important you do so. But I want to talk on I do want to speak on the situation of Semenyo. Semenyo. So we've talked about, I feel, obviously, the players. We haven't spoke about Semenyo yet. What do you guys think? Now, there's been a couple of stories in the past couple of weeks, about Semenyo. Liverpool may push the button for Semenyo in January. We know IndyCar News has tweeted about it. We know other people have, tweeted that Liverpool are considering a move for Semenyo. And I think this season, he is on about what? Obviously, he's been by far Bournemouth's best player so far this year. He scored, 6 goals for them and 3 assists so far for them. He's been very, very good. He's been very, very good. I rate Semenyo. I do. However, I've always said about Semenyo, he's very hit and miss at times. Very hit and miss. I actually want to see how much he's on a week at Bournemouth, because didn't he sign a new contract? He signed a new contract in the summer, didn't he? Because that's when all our interest went away from him. So he's on £75,000 a week. I think Semenyo's got a release clause of 65 million. 65 million. When does that activate, though? Because I remember saying that about in Hickey in his contract situation. His thing activated this summer, and hence why Arsenal sanctioned the loan to then get him next summer. If that is true, the £65 million release clause, I'll be very surprised if Liverpool don't do that. I'll be actually quite shocked if Liverpool don't go in for him. Coutinho, he did. Stays, not sure. Big up reacts. We've seen the upsets the clown on the envelope. Fantastic. Yeah, I've seen. Yeah. Yeah, Chan is 31. I thought Chan was like 33, but then I remembered he left Liverpool when he was quite young. I can't see Van Dijk without a Liverpool shirt. You're watching the Villa game. What time's Aston Villa tonight? What even are the Europa League games tonight? I haven't even looked, to be quite honest. But if Semenyo has got a £65 million release clause, I'll be very shocked if Liverpool don't activate that. The thing is, though, there's probably context to that release clause. There's probably context to it. And the context is probably if a Champions League club comes in, something like that, something of that, that magnitude. So, yeah, Semenyo's on mad goal involvements. After a run turns up, Semenyo has blanks back-to-back game weeks. See, the thing is, I like him, yeah. But at the same time, I think he is a bit overrated. What's this about Manchester United? Manchester United scouts have been tracking Antonio Semenyo closely this season, identifying him as a forward who can bring energy, creativity, and versatility to their attack. The club are considering a 60 million move in the summer, although a January approach hasn't been ruled out if his strong form continues. I think he could go in January, to be honest. I won't be... I won't be... Semenyo shops at Lidl, bro. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't, something like that. But I think Semenyo is a very good player. Look, I think he is. However, he's actually blanked in he hasn't scored a goal in more than 3 games. I think he's a good player. I do, but I think for the price and for the value, I genuinely believe, there's better options. 8 p.m. on Amazon, even going ahead. Oh, 8 p.m. and even Maine's going ahead. What do you mean? Why are you amazed it's going ahead? Why are you amazed it is going ahead? Interesting though. Interesting chat. Interesting. Interesting. But no, look, I like Semenyo. Again, I just think there's better players. What's Anthony Gordon's stats this season? I know CJ will be rattled in the chat because he knows I rate Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon so far this season. Oh God, no. Yeah, let's not talk about that. Nah, his stats can't be that. Let me have a look properly. Anthony Gordon hasn't got a goal involvement so far in the Premier League this season in 7 games. Although in the Champions League he's been very good. He's got 4 goals and 1 assist. So at least he's making up for in the Champions League. However, in the Premier League, since that 23-24 season, I know his form hasn't been as productive as as good as that season. However, I rate him as a player. I do. Actually, Anthony Gordon may have. Oh no, that's Newcastle stats. Only let me look at his Everton ones. Oh, I don't know. Footy, just look it up. 8 p.m. So what do you want me to look it up? Who's Aston Villa playing? Aston Villa for who the fuck is that team? It is hard for us. Why did he refuse to sell away tickets? I can't lie. From what I'm seeing, does look a bit wild. However, wait, what's this? New date for Liverpool clash. Aston Villa Liverpool. Where? The match will no longer take place on Thursday, December the 11th, 7 p.m. kickoff at Villa Park. Oh no, that's women's. Oh, what an idiot, bruv. Oh, what an idiot. Oh, God. I was just like, we've just played Aston Villa, but then, to be fair, we still got to go to Villa Park. But no, chat, we've gone through a lot of the news today. We've gone through the Adam Warren stuff. I mean, look, I think it's interesting. Someone did ask me at the start of the stream, who would my dream transfer be? My dream transfer would genuinely be Adam Wharton. For me, the dreams is 2 midfielders, a centre-back and a winger. Genuinely, Liverpool signed those. Yeah. Imagine if we got a centre-back and a midfielder in January. I think it's unlikely. I've always said this about January transfer windows. January transfer windows, for me, are a window to kind of correct and fix up on because you had a poor summer window, or maybe because you've had a couple of injuries, you need to bring in a player or two, or you need to get ahead of the time and bring that player in because, I don't know, a club is coming after one of your targets. I mean, Liverpool have done business in January before. We've seen this. Liverpool have signed a lot of players in January. Luis Suarez, Virgil van Dijk, Luis Diaz, favourable big price tags as well. So, I do think, it's going to be very interesting, to see what Liverpool do in January. I personally think it'll actually be a busy one. even if Liverpool don't buy anyone, because even if Liverpool don't buy anyone, I do think it will be a good window. Now, I did see something else about Mark Gay I wanted to bring up. Yeah, apparently Liverpool did offer Konate a contract. I mean, look, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, if you've not seen, Liverpool are planning to extend Dominic Szoboszlai's contract and are readying a deal that will run until 2030 or 2031. Szoboszlai has been sensational this season, and the club wants to reward his form with a contract fitting to his stature within the squad. I mean, look, I would 100% love for him to sign a new contract with Liverpool, but do I see it happening? I mean, look, we're gonna have to obviously, wait and find out. But no, it's going to be a very, very interesting January transfer window. In my opinion, I think it's going to be very interesting. I can't actually wait for it. Very excited for the window. So yeah, bless up to everyone, man. Good stream. Alexander Isak could make it the bench on Sunday. I'm hoping so. I hope so. I mean, he's been called up for. So, but yeah, Dominic Szoboszlai new contract. That looks like that's probably gonna happen. I don't think there'll be any issues there. To be honest with you, I'd be very very surprised if the club don't reach an agreement with Dominic Szoboszlai for a new contract. I'd be very surprised. Mark Gahey remains on Liverpool's list for a future signing. We have already debated whether that should be in January or the summer, and sources in Madrid reckon he has given his word to the Premier League champions. So it's going to be very interesting then. Do Liverpool get Mark Gahey? Do you know if we sign Mark Gahey, I want it to be a let it all work out. Copy Arsenal, fuck it, because they copy our songs. Yeah. Yes. By the way, I've just seen Fabinho. Fabinho has earned a surprise recall to the Brazil squad for the first time in almost 3 years. Go on, Fabinho, lad. Flacco, what? You know, Fabinho, I feel like he's very underrated in Liverpool's history. Very, very underrated. Prime Fabinho was honestly a beast. A beast. And I think he is a Liverpool legend because he was one of the most important players in in Liverpool's success in terms of winning trophies and stuff like that. So go on, Fabinho, lad. I absolutely love to hear from that. I love to hear that. We've got some more updates from Lewis Steele before we round up. With more minutes in the first team, can't be ruled out for Cameron Ramsey. Another loan for regular senior football seems the most likely next step. You know what? I'm kind of glad he got that game against Palace because I said when we signed Cameron Ramsey, I was actually quite excited for him because I actually saw there was a talent in there when we signed him back in 2022. In 2022, I think we signed him from, was it Motherwell or was it like Aberdeen? It was one of the Scottish clubs we signed him from. I think it was either Aberdeen, Motherwell type club we signed him from. And yeah, I mean, look, if he goes on like 6 months loan, it'd be very interesting to see if he can come back into the Liverpool team because I actually think he's got a bit of a future at Liverpool. He's still, 21, 22. So if he can have a really good loan spell, really good for him because I know he has suffered with a couple of injuries. Lewis Steele, although no talks have taken place between Ryan Gravenberch agents and Liverpool over a new deal just yet, the midfield is happy at Anfield and would not be surprised if he's extending a contract before too long. So yeah, hopefully a contract for Ryan Gravenberch will be given. Obviously, we know there's been there will be talk on that. Yoskov Gavardio, what was this? Liverpool are back and they're in good form. Maybe one thing is we play at home, but it'll be an interesting game. Yeah, guys, do you know Gavardio actually used to be I don't know if he is still, but growing up, he was actually a Liverpool fan. By the way, Alexander Isak may make the bench on Sunday's game against Manchester City. What's this? Cristiano Ronaldo not attending. Bless up, Joel, man. Since my father's death, I've not gone back to a cemetery. I don't need to be in front of cameras. I was thinking about his family. You know my reputation. Wherever I go, it's a circus. I don't want that kind of attention. That's why I kind of respected Ronaldo when he didn't do that. Because he's Cristiano Ronaldo, for Christ's sakes. Like, Ronaldo could go down to Lidl and he'll have 1 million cameras on him. So I kind of respect that. Ronaldo will probably go in his own time and stuff like that. Obviously, I know he's paid his own respects and stuff like that, because he knows if he was to go, like, the media will just be beyond stupid because it's Ronaldo. What's this? Chairman Rob Edwards, I think Club Brugge manager Nicola will replace Arne Slot as Liverpool manager within 2 years. Hartlewood West Chairman Rob Edwards. I think Club Brugge manager or Nick Even will replace Arne Slot as Liverpool manager within 2 years. You know what? I'm going to bookmark this. I'm bookmarking this tweet. We'll come back in 2 years and we'll see if this bloke is the Liverpool manager in 2 years. Because he drew against Barcelona. If you think we're letting this beautiful bold man leave you off your head. Jesus Christ. Mo Salah set to hold crunch talks with Egypt manager. Hassan over being called up for AFCON pre-AFCON on friendly on December the 8th against Nigeria. Hassan wants to call up Salah, but the forward would prefer to stay at Liverpool. It's a fucking friendly. Let him just stay at Liverpool, man. React, brother, you are bare waffling. I'm literally reading Liverpool news. And I'm literally going to catch up with the chat in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Sweden manager Graham Potter on Isak. Alexander Isak is not ready to play 19 minutes in two games in 4 days, but he's available. I look forward to meeting him. We will see. Hopefully he can play against Manchester City and be with us for my trip. Ah, man. Just let him have the international break off. What's this? Phil Foden wins UCL Player of the Week award. Wow, who cares? And yeah, we did. How was this? Icon pick. Well, in this chat, we might be bringing back some FIFA content, but right, let me catch up with the chap. Yeah, I'll be amazed, to be fair. Yeah, saw that, read that. Big up to Wesley, my legend, big up. Hope you're well. I hope you're well, my bro. Why don't you chat about the team that is top of the EPL and UCL table with no goal conceded? Because I'm a Liverpool fan, funny enough. And this is a Liverpool stream. You're missing out on the chat. Yeah. Bless up Jar every single time, man. I can't wait until May when Arsenal do Arsenal and win nothing. Arsenal is not winning trophies. No, sorry, bro. Until then, keep. Okay, mate. Okay. But yeah, bless up to everyone in the chat, man. Good stream, I can't lie. Good to catch up on, like, just, Liverpool transfer news, because I know we haven't, dissected it, in a while. And yeah, we are going to be back live later at 5 o'clock for the Man City versus Liverpool preview. So yeah, we're gonna be back live in about 2 hours and 10 minutes. It gives me time to obviously go make some food, have some lunch and stuff like that. And Mr. Reacts, you are always amazing. Thank you. Did you see a win in the City game? Do you see a win in the City game? I hope so. I think, look, like I said, I think Liverpool will get a result. I predicted that Aston Villa, Real Madrid, and Man City we will not lose any of the three. So far, 2 out of 3, and we've actually won both games. And hopefully, if we can beat Manchester City, the run that we have going into, after the international break, I think is very much in our favour. And that's where I think personally we can try and attempt to hopefully close that gap. And obviously, Mr. Wesley, let's go and disturb Albie. Disturb Albie. I have no idea what you're on about there, Donna. If I'm being honest. I have no idea what you're on about. He's going live with Mr. Liam. Oh, I do know what you're on about. Yeah, bless up to everyone though, man. Good stream, good hour and 10 minutes. And yeah, what we're going to do is I'm going to redirect to the stream later. We're doing the Man City Liverpool match preview. So make sure you, Arby's. Yeah, I know. We will be live for that later at 5 o'clock. So yeah, bless up to everyone, man. And yeah, make sure you have a good rest of your day. Smash up the like button. Make sure you are subscribing. Please make sure you're subscribing to the channel. We are literally now 10 subs now. We just hit 2,430, so we're now 10. We're 70 subs away from 2,500. That road to that big 5K. Stop trying to nick our players. Listen, bro, it's not my fault, man. Listen, Adam Wharton is my dream player. Hey, but at least we'll it's not my fault, Gahey, gonna leave and that. So, but yeah, bless up to everyone though, and so yeah, we'll be back live in just a little over 2 hours. Take care, love, smash the like, subscribe, up the reds as always. Peace.